Since around the early 1970s, living conditions, income for the average American has pretty much stagnated. For the richest Americans, life has gotten a lot better. The share of wealth in the United States going to the top 0.01%, talking about 30,000 people, maybe 7,500 families, they own over 10% of the United States at this point.
It's important to understand it's not the same people who are rich and poor each year. We have to think about what we call income mobility. If that usual concern means the people who were rich in one year are all richer 5 or 10 or 15 years later, and the poor people who were poor in one year are all poorer later on, that's just not true. People move up and down the income quintiles every year.
CEOs earn now about 200 times what the average worker in the company makes. In Germany, the ratio is about 30 to 1. In Japan, it's about 25 to 1.
If rich people are getting rich by making other people's lives better off, and we're making them rich by buying their products, why should it concern us?
This is not something that's inherent to capitalism. It's not inherent to a successful capitalist economy. U.S. CEOs earn vastly more than CEOs of comparable companies in other countries.
If the reason more people can't work their way up the income ladder is because we've passed laws and regulations and policies that make doing so tougher. You can think about things here like occupational licensure, zoning laws, laws that favor taxi companies over Uber, the minimum wage, other sorts of things. Then that's a problem we should address too. If our bad policies are exacerbating inequality with no gain to other people, then we should be concerned about it.
Social mobility is declining in the United States.
I'm okay with inequality and even rising inequality if that inequality has positive social results to it.
A policy that just leaves it to the free market cannot sustain trade.
If we want an economy in which everyone does contribute, and it's true, right? What makes market economy so powerful is the ability of everyone to engage in what I called in our talk we did last week, trade-tested permissionless innovation, right? It just rolls right off the tongue, I know, but that's what's happening, right? But if we want that, we really do need an economy that's more open and more free.
Yes, the American economy still sort of works, and it is still sort of a miracle historically.
So you had a decline in poor households, under 35, a decline in middle-class households, and a big increase in the percentage of households earning over $75,000 or even over $100,000. The percentage of U.S. households earning over $100,000 in that period went from 8.5% to 19%. That is more than double.
I think the real question has to be about growth. And when you look, even more important than inequality, and one of the problems with inequality, rising inequality, is it's associated with higher, more economic fluctuations and deeper depressions.
The relationship between income inequality and recessions and depressions. This is a good example, right? For Jerry, there's a causal story there, right? Income inequality the Keynesian story is income inequality leads to less spending leads to recessions. I don't buy that story. I'd argue instead that it's the very policies that we are often adopting that lead to the recessions and depressions that also happen to enhance income inequality.